This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan. It feels so good to be back with you guys. But before we get started, make
When's
sure
the last time we recorded?
I think it was after the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's a long time
For an episode, yeah. We
Yes.
did a live show like 2 weeks after.
2 weeks after, though. Yeah, but it's been a long time. But
Yeah.
we hope you guys didn't forget to do what you always do: like, share, and subscribe. Go to your Apple Podcasts app. Type our names there. We're Apple affiliates. You can also find us on any podcast platform that you so choose to use. But that being said, the NFL free agency is next week.
Yeah, but screw that for right now because we just went through probably the craziest week of NFL we've ever seen.
Yes.
And I'm glad that we decided to wait.
Yes, we did.
Because literally like an hour ago, Amari Cooper got traded. So I'm glad we waited. I'm very, very glad. And I don't think it's going to end either.
No,
I think at least one or two more things going to happen before the 16th. So we have a couple of things to discuss. A couple, and I mean a lot. Let's start off with the first thing that happened in this week is the Calvin Ridley suspension.
That's a big loss for the Falcons, even though they had lost them last year, for mental health reasons. We hope it gets well soon. But
if it's mental health reasons,
I mean, if it is,
no, I think it is. No.
But I think we spoke about it off air before that it probably did have to do with mental health reasons. But now the fact that when he was out, maybe the gambling may have something to do with it, the anxiety of losing money. We don't know. We're not gonna put.
I don't know.
We don't know. It could have. It could be. Maybe. But it's just a huge loss. Not going to lose a whole year next year. He'll be suspended for the whole 2022 season. But I think it's very peculiar that, are we really surprised this is happening, actually? Are we surprised this is happening? That one of their players thought it was a good idea to bet on it. It's a stupid idea. It's very dumb. We're not saying what the NFL knew they'd get into when they got into bed with these gambling sites, which is okay. You make $275 million a year from the gambling sites. I don't have a problem with it, but you should, if you're a player, come on, this is so dumb. You could have bet at NBA, you could have bet college basketball.
Literally could have bet anything else.
Anything else but football. And then you bet it on your team to win. He bet it on the team to win. What is bad? I mean, just betting on football in general was bad, but you gotta be smarter than that. That was a really dumb move to do. And it was a course for another year.
It's a consensus thing too. Like this is no if, answer, buts about it. It's you do not bet on your league. Very simple. And I think that's one of the first things they get told when they get into the league too. Like it's just a complete no because I cannot believe I'm going to use this phrase that haunted the NFL and a certain New England Patriots team for a long time. That absolutely has the potential to kill the integrity of the game because it will insinuate, and you saw it the minute that news broke out, you saw tapes of Calvin Ridley allegedly throwing down on purpose to get unders or whatever for betting, whatever, all that stupidity that certain people, I won't say names, was posting on Twitter and whatever. That brings up the possibility, the dumbass thought that the league is actually fixed.
Yeah.
So the NFL is not at any point trying to have that around their league at no
Especially
point.
Especially since when they were trying to do an investigation sort of about that there was no situations where there was fixed games. First of all, this is what to me doesn't make any sense to even mention this because it's like, of course, even if there were something that had to do with fixed betting, why would they publicly say that? Say, oh, if there's something that was dirty, they're gonna make sure it doesn't get out. The NFL is known for this. So even if they did find something, they're not gonna tell us. Why would they tell us? That's so dumb. Well, that's so dumb. And then risk the relationships with those gambling sites. They're making $275 million a year from these gambling sites. They've embraced sports betting. America has embraced it as a whole now because now it's now legalized in all 50 states.
It is?
Yes. It actually had it one of the they actually mentioned it in one of those fights. They said now legal in all 50 states. I'm like, wow. Nobody ever had that.
Oh.
Yeah. Interesting.
I had no idea. Breaking news to me. Woo!
No, it was. I think it was one of those Caesars, someone that had legalized in all 50 states. I was like, oh, really interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. But yeah, but cool. So why would you risk those type of relationships though, or whatever? So
it makes no sense. And then people talking about, oh, but this is a risk. What you mean is a risk? Like, I just don't understand why the notion of rules can't be just implemented. Like, I don't understand why people have to find a reason to justify breaking the rules. Like, that's a thing that I feel like I've been hearing about a lot over the past 15 years. And I just don't understand what's the problem. Like, the first time I heard about this was the weed thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they should have the right to smoke. Like, if it tells you don't smoke weed and you get paid $10 million, why the hell do you have to smoke? Why can't you wait till your contract is done and you're done in the NFL and you can smoke all you want? Why do you have to smoke even though it states on clean ink, do not smoke any recreational drugs while you're a player? I don't understand why that was such a big deal until they finally loosened it up the past few years. But I don't get it.
But wasn't that in like their CBA agreement that I'm sorry that you guys voted on? Like you voted on?
I'm saying, like, I don't understand why people just can't follow rules and do them. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why people have to make a big deal out of something with this ridiculous society. Like, I don't get it. If it says don't do something, don't do it.
And what makes it worse is that
I don't get it.
People are iterating saying you only bet $1,500. So that makes it better. So
what the hell is the amount have to do with anything?
It doesn't have anything to do with anything. If he could have bet $5 on a parlay on the NFL and he still got suspended. He doesn't care how much it is. You cannot bet on your league. What's so hard to think about? What's so hard?
I don't understand it.
The people that are trying to defend and say, oh, it's not a big no. You cannot bet on your league. You could have bet on any other sport, but you thought it was okay to bet on your league. Anybody on your team too to win. Now I think it would have been even worse if he bet on the team to lose. Then you got to throw him out of the league for that. But 1 year suspension, I have no problem.
Probably because it's an indefinite suspension. I don't think we actually know if they decide to extend it. It's a possibility. Maybe Roger Goodell feels like, oh, you know what? I'm mad today. Another year. Like that could happen. It's up to them. So nobody told you.
And you can't the players here can't really fight it because guess what? That's in your CBA. Like that's in the CBA.
And I agree with it.
I agree with it too. You can't bet on your league.
Like you don't make enough money. Like what the hell you need bet on a thing for?
I feel bad, but it's what it is. But people that are defending it, shut up.
You're all done. Like, I'm sorry. It's just that simple.
If you're defending that,
you're all done.
You're an idiot. What Pete Rose did was far more worse because he was the manager of the Cincinnati Reds and he's literally controlling the outcome. But he's betting on his teams to win. I don't give a damn. He's betting on his teams to win. He's literally controlling the outcome. The difference is Calvin Ridley was not on the field to even control an outcome. Possibly. He could have been telling people how do something.
No, so he could have been betting while playing as a possibility.
But you can't prove that. You can't prove it right now. Mm-hmm. But Pete Rose deal is way worse.
I mean, they can. We just don't know about it.
No, they can, but I'm pretty sure that the NFL doesn't want that information out there.
No, that I agree 100%.
They don't want the information out there because they don't want to alter and completely screw the integrity of the sport, and they don't want to piss off these gambling sites. They don't want to piss them off because once they realize that their sites aren't legitimate, they lose money. You all lose money, so they're not going to do that. But what Pete Rose did was way worse. So yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah. All right, so that's 9 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so much. This is gonna be a long show, by the way, guys.
It is.
So get your food, go on your car, go exercise, go do whatever you gotta do. Usually do during podcasts. It's gonna be a long one. So much stuff happened in a 7-day span. Aaron Rodgers. So this guy.
Show him the money. And the Packers definitely did that. They showed this man the money. They said, please don't go. Please don't go.
I'm just praying that this is the last we get to hear from this diva in a non-football aspect.
Son tells me we won't. We won't.
I don't think I've ever seen a bigger cry for attention
than this man.
than this guy the last few months, the last year. You could say a year.
Mhm.
I don't understand this guy. I don't know why he does what he does. I don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. And now I can really honestly say, well, we can't say it because we technically still don't know the contract details as of yet. I'm gonna guess he's gonna sign it probably when the new league year starts. I'm gonna guess is when he signs it, because he still hasn't signed it yet, and it's what, Saturday, yeah. So
I tend to think he can until then.
oh, then there you go. So then
I'll be can until then.
so there you go. So we don't know the full contract. Probably not gonna know until next week. But the report is that it's going to be a 4-year, $200 million contract. So essentially, with simple math, that's 50 a year.
50
I'm
million.
gonna guess that's not what he's getting paid throughout the year. I'm gonna say there's incentives and roster bonuses and all this other stuff, so they won't get a $50 million cap hit from one player, because that will be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But this guy is essentially taking this fat of a cap hit to the point where, if you really look at the Packers receiving corps now, almost the entirety of it is on the free agent market, and they did franchise tag, which we will go over later, Devontae Adams. So it's just those two. So what the hell are the Green Bay Packers gonna do when it comes to cap space? They are negative 45. They are 45 million over the cap.
I think I have the perfect solution for that. For those who live in the state of Wisconsin, go to try. I'm going to tryouts for OTAs. They're gonna need y'all. You play wide receiver in high school at Pop Warner. Go ahead.
Yeah, this man is just crippled your franchise.
Yeah.
And you know what? Why did the Green Bay Packers allow that to happen? Let's explore that.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two possible reasons why this happened in my brain. I don't know if Trevor has any extras. I have two.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love sucks, and they have no faith in him now.
I agree.
Or they just completely panicked under the pressure to stay afloat. They're afraid to see what life will be like without an Aaron Rodgers-ish type talent, because they had Brett Favre right before him, who was already a 3-time MVP. Then they went to an Aaron Rodgers guy who was actually completely celebrated, even though he fell in the 2005 draft. But he was celebrated as probably the best quarterback in that draft, in between him and Alex Smith. So he was already highly touted. Jordan Love was not highly touted. People thought that he had a good ceiling, but he wasn't highly touted. So either they're very afraid of what life will be like without Aaron Rodgers, and it says, screw it, we need him to stay afloat, or they just completely think Jordan Love is not good. Those are the only two things I could think of as to why they did this.
I agree with you 100% on those two parts as well. And also how the NFC is shaping up after Tom Brady's gone, when obviously John Brady's gone. So, and now Russell Wilson is, we'll get to that later.
That's literally next, yeah.
We'll get to that later. How the NFC is literally
like, it's just Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, saying that. So,
and I guess Dak Prescott.
So they're pretty much saying that, hey, they can make another run for this, despite, not having any receivers in third tier, not Devontae Adams. They probably, and then it's like, when you have the level of the luck, I'm gonna say I want to say luck, because I'm gonna call it luck. When you have the luxury of having two all-time great quarterbacks in a 30-year span, you're like, damn, he about to go. We don't want to be trash. Is Jordan Love? Which again, you obviously had a contingency plan.
Mind you, they traded up to get him too. Let's keep that in mind too.
Yes, you traded up when you did not have to, because he was not a first round pick, which was like, why? Trust me, you didn't have to do that. So I just think that I feel like it's panic mode, and it's like they've realized that, hey, we could still have a chance to make a run to the Super Bowl and win the NFC, because who else is there? So they're probably saying, nah, with Jordan Love, even Jordan Love, I don't think he's good.
Me either.
I don't think he's good. So, and then even in your own division, like, who's really competing with you in your own division? So it's like
nobody,
which wouldn't make a difference anyway. So it's, what do you do? I just think this is bad. And then it's like, you are literally holding your future hostage, which you don't have a future now, because whatever's growth that Jordan Love was trying to, have within this organization, you pretty much just stunted it. There's no way he's gonna be able to. And why would he want to stay there? Even if, let's say,
I love that you say that. Because my next question was going to be, what if you're a franchise? Which franchise or franchises would you have to be to pick up the phone and just inquire about trading Jordan Love? What franchise do you think would be the ones to be like, Jordan Love? I mean,
Carolina,
Indianapolis, Pittsburgh.
Yes, yeah.
Like, do you like? Is he worth? Like, what is his worth?
Hell, I mean, if they didn't trade for Carson Wentz, Washington would have been on that list too.
True.
Yeah,
but what is his worth though? What do you think he'd be worth? Jordan Love,
maybe a fourth.
Ooh,
a fourth.
I think it's a little steep because it's still a question mark. If we knew he sucked, then a fourth, fifth, but we don't know that yet. And he still has the first round pick pedigree around them, even though we know that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking more like a third. Maybe they could probably bullcrap a second.
Depending on how desperate the other team is.
Indianapolis.
Yes, they would probably be desperate enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, whatever they got from Washington, they could just say, "Hey, we'll give you that instead. Here, just bring Jordan Love over here. We need somebody bad." Because who's on the Colts QB roster?
Fromm?
No,
not Fromm. Is it Fromm?
No. Jake Fromm is the Giants. Nah, hell no.
No, it's another one of those dudes. It's not Trask. Is it no?
Not Trask. Trask is in Tampa Bay. Yeah,
it's one of them quarterback. I don't know them.
Jake something. Something E.
Eason? Jacob Eason?
Yes.
There you go. See, I know it's one of those type quarterbacks.
There you go. Yeah, him. Yeah. So who knows what's gonna happen there? Because honestly speaking, if I'm Jordan Love agent, I'm like, I don't want to stay in Green Bay for what? Y'all made it a pain saying I'll be the heir apparent after Aaron Rodgers.
And now his contract lasts past my rookie deal.
That's your rookie deal. Which what's the to stay there? Like whatever growth, like I said before, whatever growth that he was trying to have in Green Bay, you stunted it immediately.
Yeah, I will. If I'm Love, I think I'll tell my agent, "Yo, get me out of here.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here." That's 2 years in a row. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers hold the franchise hostage. He did it last year, and he almost did it again this year. And they're gonna pay him for what? Listen, in the next 4 years, if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, win a championship, or at least make it past the NFC Championship game, at least get to a Super Bowl, let alone win one. It's like, yo,
I almost don't care at this point. You've had so much failure that I don't even care if you make a Super Bowl or whatever at this point. Like, I don't think anything enhances his legacy anymore, to be honest. Unless he wins multiple, but otherwise,
unless he wins 3 in the next 4 years.
Yeah, like he went like 2 or 3. Like, cause I'm sorry, like, dude, like your behavior kind of messing it up at this point. We're just looking at you with a face, like with a scrunch on our face, like
dummy.
Yeah, like you, like ugh, like you know what I'm saying, like leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So the way you act like a damn child.
Low key, I want to say, who do you think you are? But it's like
he's Aaron Rodgers. He's Aaron
Rodgers. I low key want to say that, but I'm like, if you were anybody else, I would say, who the hell do you think you are? But Aaron Rodgers, but
he obviously is one of the only people who can get away with it because he did get away with it
twice.
Yeah, so good luck, Green Bay.
Good luck.
I mean, you're gonna need more than that, but yeah. So, and another note, let's talk about the first big trade that happened this week. Russell Wilson being traded to the Denver Broncos. We're going to start on the Denver side of things before we go on to make fun of Seattle. So, they gave up what? 2 firsts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 2 seconds?
2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th.
A 5th and 3 players. I think Noah Fant, which is the one that hurt. I'm like, oh, damn, they got rid of him. He's pretty good. Good tight end.
Noah Fant, Drew Lock,
and Shelby Harris. Shelby Harris, yeah. Shelby Harris. And yeah, I'm saying that's who they gave up. The entire package to receive Russell Wilson and like a 4th pick. A 4th round pick.
A 5th round pick.
Yeah, that could be like a 4th or something like that. I know one of the picks has a chance to move up depending on a certain stipulation. I forget what it is, though. So that's the whole package for the Russell Wilson trade, which I actually did not mind. I was actually okay with it because the Denver Broncos roster is not bad. It's pretty good.
It just needed a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly right. I can argue out of all the rosters in that division, they have at least the second best one overall. Not the best team, the best roster. Talking about players in it. Because people be like, what's your video? Shut up. I'm talking about players that are in the roster. No, you know how people get. That's what I'm saying. Making sure they understand. The team, no, they are not. They, to me, in my personal opinion, I don't even think they're second best in the division. They might be third right now because there's some problems. But in terms of overall roster,
names.
okay, I'm making sure. This is how I talk to waiters and waitresses, by the way, because I do not play around when people mess up my order. Yeah, you were there. I was saying, so I'll be sure. I take my order very slow. Like I want a X and X chicken, and I pause with X and X rice, and I pause.
Like we really laugh at this guy when he does it. Like
I stare right at the waiter, which is while they're writing down to make sure that they get my order right, because I'm not trying to hear no bogusness that my order is messed up, because I talk to you like if you just learn how to read. Like you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it has my bad. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Sorry. They have the second best, arguably roster, probably to the Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry, those are part of the two best rosters. Kansas City roster is not good. They just have key players, but they're not a good roster. That defense is. I can't wait to talk about this later on when we start going through all the teams and guide to 2022. Yeah, well, what's that? Was that season 3? I guess the series 3. But yeah, let me get back to that because my God. And they have no money, so I don't know how they're gonna fix it. But anyway, there's still some problems with this roster, but they definitely got the biggest cog to go ahead and make some type of run. They do need defensive line players, and they do need offensive line players. Similar to Seattle, but at least the Denver Broncos have a good secondary. At least the Denver Broncos have a great receiving core. Not just 2 people; they have like 4 great receivers. They have a good running back. So they have an offensive-minded head coach. The Green Bay head coach. So we'll see how him and Russell Wilson gets together and get this done. But overall, the roster is really good, and there's plenty of depth on defensive and offensive line in the draft. And then you're gonna be like, oh, they don't have the first 2 picks, so they got the 3rd and 4th. You can get a 3rd and 4th pick to come in, and then they also have a decent amount of cap space, which we'll get to later on in the show. They can get a veteran, like Von Miller or anyone like that to bolster the defensive or offensive lines. They got resources to make this team a Super Bowl contending team. But as of right now, in my opinion, I don't even know they're the second best team in their division. They might be the 3rd as of right now, especially since the biggest thing is we don't know how good Russell Wilson's going to look, because the last 2 seasons, he hasn't looked like dangerous. He's been dangerous on the field for Seattle. That's how he's been the last 2 seasons.
I mean, it's kind of hard when he's literally running for his life.
Not even that, because I had a discussion off the air too. For the 2020 season, I thought him not playing well in the second half was completely circumstantial, because they were literally running 4 verticals every play for the last half of the damn season. So how am I supposed to win when he running 1 play? And then last year, he was actually playing okay. Then he broke his finger, and he was never the same after that. But what have you done for me lately comes in, and that's why he's in a different team now. So we have to see how he looks before we say anything about this team gonna be Super Bowl contention, which I don't hear, because I'm proud of the media for not overrating the crap out of them yet. I like that.
They basically said
they're also in the same division as Kansas City, and they let their darling, so of course they're not gonna go after them. But
and the fact that the AFC West is completely loaded.
Oh yeah, they're also
quarterbacks.
So they're all their darling, and Herbert is there too. I forget. So yeah, they're not gonna overrate
you're not gonna hit that as much. But to me, I get the move. I get why they did it, because they need a quarterback. Obviously, and honestly speaking, we say this about John Elway all the time. He cannot develop a quarterback in Denver to save his life. He needs another free agent or trade to come in there and try to steer the ship there, because he can't do it, and the Broncos have not done it since him. So
literally, yes,
literally him. So I get it.
Maybe he's doing it on purpose. Anyway,
I wouldn't be surprised. He's trying to own the team too. But anyway,
they have no owner, right?
The owner is they're in the process of moving ownership. So
he might as well just take the damn team.
I mean, he's already God in Denver.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you might as well take the team, but whatever.
But besides that, I do feel like Denver gave up way too much.
Yeah,
they give up a lot. They give up a lot. I mean, I get it.
I just heard what I said about that whole Denver thing, and I kind of feel like I was steering towards that shit, but I'm really not, because I really was like pinpointing like the negatives, but the positives are obvious. You're getting a quarterback who's not Drew Lock.
Yeah.
So like, there's your positive right there.
I do feel like they gave up a lot. But in the scheme of things, I get why they did it. He wants to contend. This roster was actually very good. They just needed a quarterback. When you have
And probably a coach too.
that is saying a lot. So you're right. You're right. So
that is a rookie coach they got though. So we'll see. See, I keep just pinpointing why this is bad. My bad. I think this is a good trade, me personally.
But actually, good to be saying that because now it's like, okay, you're right. I totally forgot he had a rookie head coach that was there. I'm like, oh yeah, you know how
new head coach.
So, what type of scheme implement he's going to put on his team?
Well, if he goes back from where he came from, he's going to do something similar to LaFleur.
Yeah.
So that means that they're going to be running the football heavily. And then they're gonna rely on precision and play action passes for Russell Wilson. Which means they're going to not the quote unquote let Russ cook. That's basically what's gonna happen. Now let's see how far they take that. Will they actually let him cook or just do the Pete Carroll? And we will sit here and wonder why the hell they traded for him to have the same type of offense like he had in Seattle in the first place. Like there's your question coming in.
It's good because I mean obviously he waived his no trade clause, so he obviously seeing the plus side of going to Denver. He's like, all right, well, this roster is is light years better than I had in Seattle, which we'll get to in a second because Pete Carroll, yeah.
Who was the owner of the Seattle? Let's go to it right now. Forget it. Who was the owner of Seattle?
I remember Paul Allen died. Paul Allen died, so.
Because whoever running that show and whoever the GM is,
his family's still running. Paul Allen was the guy from Microsoft.
They're all completely disgusting, bro. They actually chose Pete Carroll over Russell Wilson. They did it.
They did.
They chose that senile dude over Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah. Also, for those who don't realize, Seattle is in fire mode. Let's say fire sale mode. Anyway.
It's a flea market basically. They giving up everything for everybody. Tyler Lock is on the block.
Oh yeah, right? Which I would love to see.
Right, they cut Bobby Wagner.
I would love to see him in New England. I'm Tyler Lock.
I wish. I don't know the team could
afford him, but I'd love to see him in New England. But DK Metcalf, I wonder how bad he feels. Says damn.
He's about to be the literal personification of the Will Smith meme from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Just really standing in the middle of that big ass living room by himself,
saying, "Yo, what's going on?" But yeah, peak. And then my thing is this: people talking about, but they got all that draft capital from Denver. True indeed. They did. I don't really trust Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll to build a team. Granted, he struck gold with the Legion of Boom. I'll give him that. He struck gold with that, building that team together. He did. Besides that, it hasn't really drafted very well.
That was 10 years ago. What have you done since 2012? Literally, all your drafts have been ass since 2013 on. 12 was the last good draft he had. That was literally 10 years ago. So either you're only capable of drafting good players every 10 years, or you're absolutely incompetent. But Seattle decided to keep that. Mind you, the dude is 70. They wanted to keep him there for whatever dumbass reason, and now they're going to fail. That's why I don't care, because they have the number 9 overall pick. That was Denver's pick. They have the number 9 overall pick in the draft. I don't care. That man has not shown any ability to use those picks wisely. None the last 10 years.
Now my thing is the number 9 pick. Who are you gonna pick? Like now the thing about it. Now before, not gonna lie to you, before we said that we don't see any quality quarterbacks in the draft, we probably see like a good 2 or 3 of them in the first 10, the first 15 picks. You probably see them now because Seattle needs a quarterback badly. Because if you were to tell me that Drew Lock is going to be face of Seattle, good luck.
If they were smart,
enjoy your 3 and 14 season.
I'm saying if they were smart, which I know they're not. I am not drafting none of them dudes. I'm sorry. I am going to basically tank this season and wait for next year and get the quarterback, whoever's the star quarterback for next year, if there's one. So that was me. If I'm them, because I am not wasting my number 9 overall pick on one of those dudes. It's not happening. I'm sorry. Yeah, who was it gonna be? What, Willis? Howell, Pickett? Who's the other one? Coral?
Yeah, Coral.
Those are like the top 4, basically, right? I think.
Malik Willis, who people talking about, oh, he had a really good pro day. He really. I'm like, I don't care.
Well, combine so.
I said, I don't care. I don't care.
You think I get rat's ass about combine for quarterbacks?
Well, who cares?
I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care.
I think he's a project. I think he'll take time.
Most people say that though.
I'm not saying he's not bad. He's decent.
No, I'm saying most people saying what you're saying. They're saying that basically almost all of them are basic projects, but they're just saying people or the organizations are going to cower to the pressure of needing a quarterback, and they're going to waste a very high valued pick on quarterbacks who shouldn't be drafted as high.
And that's why your franchise will continue to be garbage.
Yes,
because with that type of mindset, running it like a mom and pop shop. That's
what I'm saying. I'm guessing, which I think is gonna happen, is that these quarterbacks shouldn't be drafted until after 20. Before 20, none of them dudes should be drafted before 20. But I agree with you. We're going to probably see at least three drafted within the first 20.
Yeah, the first 20. Yeah,
you're gonna see 3 of them. Well, you should not. You should not draft them until after 20. But that's what. Whatever. But yeah, that's neither here. You're right.
Welcome back to. So you know how before 2012 they were the Shithawks. Well, they're back.
Yeah, they're gonna be back for a little while.
And trust me, if this doesn't get Pete Carroll out of here after next year, he can retire gracefully. I don't know what it is, because we've been trying to get him out of here from Seattle for years.
Literally since we started the show.
Yes.
In 2019, we've been saying how bad this dude is, and we've been right for 3 straight years, and they still have him. I'm done with them. Next, Khalil Mack got traded to the Los Angeles Chargers.
So Chicago found somebody to take that ridiculous contract away, because that contract is ridiculous, especially since he didn't play well. He didn't play too great last year, so hey, he found a way to get rid of the contract.
You know, my favorite part about this whole trade is, and why I think, I don't want to say no one won. I'm leaning more Chicago winning this trade. You know why? Because that did not solve the Chargers' problem. Their problem was the run defense. You know what they did? They got a damn pass rusher. So all I have to do is run HB dive, and I will still whip your ass. That's what's going to happen.
Again.
So you're going to spend how much money? $20+ million on this pass rusher who's not going to help me stop the run much better, because he is a better run stuffer than basically anybody got on your team. But that's not enough. So why did you do this trade if your problem was not pass rush? Because you got some of that. It's run defense. Interesting. Because you're going to tell me, oh, they could use pass rush. Of course. Damn near everybody can use pass rush. But not $20 million worth of pass rush to the point where you're not going to have that much money to spend on other players anymore. You need run defense. But this is Brandon Staley we're talking about, and Brandon Staley does not care about run defense. So continue to be mediocre and lose to Kansas City. That's why I do not get a rat's out about this trade. I don't care. You can't stop that run still. So what do I care about pass rush if I just run down your throat all day?
Yeah.
Which Denver can do, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, the Chargers will be the Chargers, I guess. But for Chicago, you got rid of the contract, which is the most important thing. I mean, I feel kind of... We'll get some more Chicago later, but it's like there's not much they can... You're not going to spend much for them, especially since the division is going to be so weak. The division is so weak. I mean, why not? Like, why not?
No, they should be getting rid of all these contracts and start new. That's exactly what we should try to find a way to start the Justin Fields era, even though this roster is just disgusting at this point in time.
I mean, the new GM they got there, it has a lot of work cut out for him. I mean, work cut out for him. Like,
yeah, but at least
he's trying.
He has cap space, right? I think they got, let me see, they got like over 30 million cap space. I have the list here. Where are you, Chicago Bears? They have $36 million cap space. It's not a lot, but it's not a little bit either. So they have something to work with. But I just don't understand at this point how they're going to be able to make an adequate enough roster with that cap space and with the draft capital they have, with all the holes that they have. You understand? In other words, this roster is a multi-year rebuild. It's not just 1 year. So this team, at best case scenario, is going to win maybe 7 games. Best case scenario. And that's only if Justin Fields is good. Although if you're going to see some type of tragedy in Chicago,
Right.
I hope you guys all have your Bulls gear because you might as well rock that for the next 2 years or so because your Bears are not going to be good. I'm telling you that right now.
At least baseball is back. We'll rep the White Sox. The Cubs is garbage. Sorry.
Yeah, because this season, I hope there's a possibility they're in first overall pick territory. I don't think so because usually Bears are never that bad, but they're in that territory within the first 5 to 7 picks. They're definitely in there next year. Just so y'all know. That's why I don't care about this trade. Instead, we're just gonna make fun of both teams because that's what Sports Dynasty does. When we don't really have anything to say about a certain thing because it's meaningless, we're going to make fun of you and entertain you instead. This is not gonna be entertaining, but it's gonna be a cool question. So Deshaun Watson is going to more than likely be able to return to football because the case is now done. So we're not going to talk about all that legal crap. We don't do that here. We're going to talk about where will he go now that they know he will not be going to jail. Where is he going to go? We rule out Indy because that is in the division. They're not trained to win inside the division. Bless you. They're not change to an inside a division team. Not happening. Mind you, Indy has the most cap space, so they can easily afford his contract, but they are not doing it. So, with that said, where would he go? What teams that have an okay amount of cap space will they'll be going? And we have to keep in mind that Deshaun Watson controls his fate because he has to sign off on waiving his no trade clause to go to the team. So you could say a bum team that has cap space, and he's gonna look at you like no, and he's not gonna go. So we have to figure this out, right? So Indy has the most cap space, and you will be hearing this later when we talk about free agency. The Jets have cap space, but they already drafted a quarterback. They're not gonna get him. Miami Dolphins, that's been on the table for over a year. It's back, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe because I don't know what Chris Pierre is gonna think. So
I think 3 places I think he'll consider would be Miami if Chris Greer, you mentioned Chris Greer, actually opens it up again.
Yeah, because he's a Tua guy, so I don't know if they're gonna stick with Tua or not.
I mean, he literally chose Tua over Brian Flores.
Brian Flores, so, yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Let's say Miami, for example. I could see a possibility of Carolina and Pittsburgh. Carolina
calling to Pittsburgh, but it is lying season, so we don't know if this is a fact. But calling to Pittsburgh, they say he don't fit the Pittsburgh Steelers mold, or whatever the hell does that mean for quarterback. No jokes. I had 6 jokes that everybody knows where I was going to go with.
I know,
but I'm not going to do that here.
Today.
That's more of a live show thing because a live show it just comes out.
Yeah.
On the show we're not going to do that. All right, my bad. Sorry, but it is lying season, so Pittsburgh just could be saying this garbage just to derail everyone, and all of a sudden, bang, they come out with a crazy offer and they take him. So it's lying season. So remember,
but
Seattle said they weren't going to trade Russell Wilson 2 weeks ago. What happened? So it's lying season. So,
and then Carolina. I think those 3 places where I think the roster is good enough where he may say, okay, we can work something around there. But if you can. Yeah, one of those 3. I can't really pick exactly where he would take it, but those 3 options could really say, I may waive this. If not, he's gonna stay in Houston. But even though Houston would love to keep him there, but he can't stand y'all.
I think them bridges are burnt.
Yeah, it's so burnt that he don't want to stay there. He don't want to stay there. He said, nah, he has to go. But those 3 places, I think that he'll waive his no trade clause for.
Right there. So you said Miami,
Pittsburgh, and
Carolina Panthers. Carolina's sounding pretty good, but I don't know if he would. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to sign off on that, but there will be a team desperate enough to definitely trade for him. No question. No question. Is that the last? Oh, no. What happened 2 hours ago now? Amari Cooper was traded to the Cleveland Browns. I want to say for a 5th and 6th round pick or 4th and 5th.
It was a 5th and 6th round pick. Ever actually.
Yeah, on the Sports Dynasty page.
Yeah, it's definitely right there. They traded him to Cleveland for a 6th round pick, and the Browns gave up. No. There's Amari Cooper and a 6th round pick to Cleveland, and they receive a 5th and 6th round pick back.
There you go. So he swapped 6 round picks, and they got a 5th for him instead. And that contract remains, and Cleveland will have to pay that $20 million. So I am not a Amari Cooper fan at all. He does not deserve that, according to play, because I don't want to say a man don't deserve his money. What I want to say is, in terms of play on the field, he is not worth the contract. There you go. That's the political way of saying it. There you go. He's not worth that contract. So I don't like the trade. However, I will say this means something inside the organization. So does this mean that Jarvis Landry will be making an exit? Or they keep him both? Because I think he has a decent cap hit as well if they keep him.
I think, well, that's one option right there. But if not, if you want to keep both of them there, that just gives them more ammunition to say, hey, Baker Mayfield, we have people you can throw it to. We have weapons for you to throw it to. Now there's no excuse for you now. You have to.
And they also dig tag.
Yeah, and
Njoku.
David Njoku, which I didn't get why they did that.
Again, but, that's literally our next topic. Yeah.
I don't get it. Yeah, but they gave you the tools and the weapons for you to succeed. Now up to you to
And decide. I will say, if this happens, the more likely scenario is that they're going to draft a speedy wide receiver with the first pick. So the Alabama kid that messed up his knee.
John Michie.
Maybe that's somebody I'm thinking of. Who's the last name is Williams, I think. No, I'm not in the draft yet.
I'm sorry. I think somebody else. Williams. I think Williams. Yeah, I need to turn about.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. J. There's a J. His name's
Jameson something.
I don't know what the hell his name is. My bad, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're really pushing this.
Yeah, but I think that's where they're gonna draft then, especially in this case scenario. I think they're gonna draft the speedy wide receiver. What was that dude that killed it in the combine? I don't know his name. That probably sounds like a Raiders pick, though, to be honest. The speedy guy. But
wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Jameson Williams. Yeah. Bang.
I know it's right. I know it's right somehow. Jameson Williams, yeah.
Jameson Williams. Let's look it up. That's his name. Him. That he's the one that hurt his knee, but he's supposed to be one of the best wide receivers come out. I think he's one of the top 3 receivers coming out of this draft. They're probably gonna draft him most likely then, if they keep both those guys. So yeah, they're showing Baker like the Giants the year before were trying to show Daniel Jones. Yeah. When they got all that receiving talent. It's on you, brother. Earn this contract or get out. Well, yeah. I don't like trade. I don't like Mark Cooper, so I don't like trade.
You know, it's crazy how I know Dallas is probably kicking themselves in the head right now. You gave up 4 first-round picks for this man, and you paid. You paid him. Then you paid him, and now he's out. And then been 4 years he's out of there. The only you can get for was a 5th and 6th round pick. Oh well.
You should never trade for him like that and give him all that money. He was never that good. I didn't like him in the Raiders either. He's underwhelming. He's a low end number 1. That's what he was. He was never that guy that you can count on to be like the guy to get those catches for you when you need it. No, he was never like that. Because I don't understand. People were trying to defend him. I know people in the group were trying to defend him. I'm like, no, stop it right now. He's not that good. He's all right. He's not that good. You can't count on him when it matters. He's not that type of guy. Now, franchise tax. Okay, so we're just gonna run through them, and if we hate him, we'll talk about it. If we're fine with it, whatever. That's basically what we'll go through. So Kansas City, they franchise tackle Orlando Brown tackle. He was probably the worst lineman. But whatever. But that's the thing I don't like. That's a $16 million hit you're getting from a guy who wasn't even that good. He was good, but not. To me, he was the weakest guy in your line because your line was that good last year.
Yeah, from a team that is literally cash poor. At this point.
That's what I'm saying. And there's other tackle options in free agency right now.
Much cheaper too.
That you can get for cheaper to get around the same production. That's what I agree with you 100%. That I didn't like. David Njoku tagged in Cleveland. I don't know why they won't let this guy go when they barely use him. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
First of all, when they got Austin Hooper, I knew Austin Hooper the year before. I'm like, I knew the writing was on the wall for him. Like, yo, why are you even here? Like, what's the point? When healthy, he's pretty decent, but he hasn't got the ball. Doesn't get the ball a lot. So why waste $10 million?
11 is 10.9. $11 million on it.
To me, it doesn't make any sense. That was dumb.
I'm saying it doesn't make sense. Like Cleveland, I don't know what the hell. They might be low-key on panic mode too. Cincinnati tags Jesse Bates III for $13 million. I'm okay with that. They need to keep him there. Hopefully they get a deal done with him. He didn't have the best regular season last year, but I think his playoff run was the reason why he got tagged. Yeah. Gesicki gets tagged for $10.9 million. Same number.
I don't hate it.
I love him from Miami because he actually kind of plays receiver for them more than tight end.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to pull a Jimmy Greenhand and tries to argue that he should get wide receiver money instead. Because I'll go from 11 to I think 17. So
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
yeah. Cowboys get Dalton Schultz off the tag. I'm like, okay, he wasn't bad, so
It makes sense.
whatever.
They released Jarwin though, so I get it, and he's pretty decent. He'll be pretty decent tight end on that team anyway. You know, come up the chains. Yeah,
there's a few tight ends you can get off free agency too for
Yeah.
like a few bucks to back up, so it's fine. I don't hate it. Jacksonville for the second straight year tags Cam Robinson. I'm like, okay, I guess. What else is spending the money on, right? They do need tackles. They gotta find a way to keep Trevor Lawrence upright. So there's one way. He's not bad. He's a good player. I just don't know why they just lock him up. I don't understand dudes doing it twice. Then just put like a 3-4 year deal. I don't know.
You might as well.
That's what I'm saying. Him. Yeah, I know players hate this damn tag, and I feel them. I understand.
You're saying, yo, I mean, yeah, he's getting more money. He's getting
but like something happens to him,
then he loses it.
The long term is gone. So that's why it sucks for them. They want that security. But he's a good player, so they just need to get more. And I think they will. Devontae Adams get tagged. Oh, I lied. It is not 17 million. He getting tagged for 20. So the receiver tag is $20 million. So I would definitely understand if Gesicki really tries to get that extra $9 million. That's an extra $9 million.
Get your money, brother, man. Get your brother, man. Get your money.
Devontae Adams gets tagged for $20 million, and well, I don't know how they're gonna be able to resign him. I can't wait for next year now, the next offseason rather, to see if he.
I truly believe they did that because they feel they can get another run, at least one more run to a championship together.
I wouldn't doubt if they find a way to clear cap to keep him. But I just know if they do that, they're not adding anything else to the team for like another 3 or 4 years, though. That's the thing. I don't want to revisit what we spent a lot of time on already, but yeah.
It's interesting.
And Tampa Bay for the second straight year tags Chris Godwin.
Interesting, given the fact that
I feel bad for him. I hate when they get tagged more than once.
I feel more because there's like it made sense to do it when Tom Brady was your quarterback. It made sense. Like, fine, I can stay another year. I have a chance to contend. You defranchise them, and you don't know who the quarterback is, and there's a good chance that this NFC South. First of all, it's a good thing that they go back to earth. The Tom Brady effect is over. They're going back to earth. They're going to be back to those Tampa Bay Buccaneers very soon. The NFC South looks very, very grim. Again,
this NFC, dude.
9 wins may win this NFC South, depending on how everything goes. 9 wins, they win this.
I think 9 wins clearly wins the NFC South. Like, there is no debate about that. 9-8 easily takes this division. Who's gonna get it?
I don't know.
I'm gonna guess the Saints, but I don't know. Now, our free agency period. So there's a lot of big names out there. We're gonna pinpoint a couple teams who have cap space, and we're going to ahead and plug some names. Give them about 3 to 4 guys that they think will really improve their team. We basically stop after about 30 million because once you get to 20s, it's not that much. We'll put out some names though. We're gonna start with Indianapolis for 69 million. I'm pretty sure they're gonna re-sign Zach Pascal because they have no receiving depth at all. They're more than likely gonna probably bring back T.Y. Hilton for a small deal too. Just have that veteranship there, who knows the culture, who knows
it makes
everything.
Sense. He knows the playbook anyway, so whatever.
But how about some new ones? So maybe try getting Marquez Van Der Scantling. How about getting him? He's a good speedster. Didn't get really much burn from Green Bay because a certain person don't feel like throwing to anybody that's not named Devontae Adams. So I don't know, but this would be a chance that he can see. He can try to earn something. I think he's gonna do a short deal, maybe 1 or 2 year deal. I don't think he's gonna get anything crazy to try to prove himself to show that he's worth more money than he's gonna get. So I think Indy's probably a spot that will give him that shot. I just don't know who's gonna throw him the ball. Speaking of that,
who's throwing the ball?
So Trevor has 2 names.
Yes,
2 names.
I do feel if Jimmy Garoppolo is not available, people thinking that Jimmy Garoppolo, I can see them giving Mitchell Trubisky a chance. Now, before you kill me about, listen, Mitchell Trubisky.
If they gotta kill you, they gotta kill the whole media because they've been jumping on him literally since a month ago.
Mitchell Trubisky, like what happened in Chicago, I do feel that him being in Buffalo for 1 year, learning, being behind Buffalo,
Not being in Chicago.
not being in Chicago, pretend the scenery. Sorry, fine. His head's pretty clear. And he's a pretty decent quarterback. I think he could start at other places around the league. If you can't get Jimmy Garoppolo, he's one name you could bring up. Yeah, him, Teddy Bridgewater. You could bring Teddy Bridgewater in there as well. Like to have at least a stopgap until you decide. Okay, fine. Maybe there's a QB in the draft next year, or maybe we can package something to get someone bigger later. But who knows? But right now, Indy, if I was in the quarterback position, they can need all the help they can get.
I have a bad feeling about them, man. I think in 3 years, this team's going to be so different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's going to be a different coach. There's going to be different players everywhere. I don't think this it's definitely panic mode for Indy now, and I don't think this team's going to look the same.
I get it. And I'm glad you mentioned that because we spoke about it off the air as well. It's like now with I think the Carson Wentz. I think last season was such a boiling point. They had shockwaves in the organization. Said, hey, come on, this team was good enough. Coming in and say, "Yo."
Speaking of Carson Wentz, I cannot believe that I freaking forgot to write down Carson Wentz trade in our whole weekly. There's so much stuff that I forgot. So let's talk about that. My bad. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I forgot about that. So Carson Wentz got traded to the Washington, the Commanders, right? That's what they're called.
Yeah,
they're a football team to me. I love the football team name. I'm so used to it. I'll probably say this year from now about Commanders too. But the Washington Commanders, they get Carson Wentz.
I feel it was stupid. I feel that the trade was unnecessary for Washington standpoint.
That's a good word. Unnecessary. I love it.
I think unnecessary from Washington standpoint because I'm more than certain you didn't have to trade for him. More than likely, Indianapolis were going to get rid of him anyway, and you could have got him for much cheaper. They were going to release him.
I don't know if they're going to do that because that money was going to be ridiculous. I think they had to trade him. I just think, in my opinion, I don't see how much of an upgrade you're getting between him and Heineke. Like, is it enough of an upgrade to give up assets like that and try to contend? I don't think so. But here's the thing. I know everybody's killing Carson Wentz, and that's like, yes, you're public enemy number one, and I get it. But what I didn't understand, and somebody, what's his name on our group? Is it Jordan Curtis? Is that his name?
Yeah, Jordan Curtis.
Him. Which I could agree with 100%. I don't think he didn't have enough of a fair shake as much as people are trying to make it out to be. Because what I'm trying to say is what we talked about in the guide of 2021. Indy had to fix their skill position problem, which they did not do. Outside of Michael Pittman, who is to me a 2, not a 1 right now, who the hell else was catching the ball? And people are going to kill Carson Wentz for the way he played, and he deserves it, trust me. Oh, he deserves it. Oh, he deserves his play. But when I don't have anybody to throw to who I can rely on, then what do you think I'm going to do? Like, in that Jacksonville debacle, the Clown Bowl, none of those receivers were getting open, dude. None of them. Pittman, all them guys, Pascal, all those other guys were not getting open because they're not that good outside of Pittman. So, who am I throwing to for you to call me as bad as what you're calling me? That's what I'm saying on Carson Wentz's behalf. Does he deserve the criticism? I think a little less than what you're giving him. I do think he deserves plenty of criticism. I think dial it down about 20%. And I think that's what he deserves. Because I think he still is a starter, just not a good starter. He's a lower end starter. That's what he is at this point because his mistakes are just absolutely unacceptable. And for the defensive Indy, on the biggest games they played, he did not play well in any of them. The Tennessee games, the Tampa Bay game at the second half, he was absolutely horrible. He didn't play that well against the Buffalo Bills either, but luckily for him, Jonathan Taylor had quarterback numbers, so it didn't matter. And the New England Patriots game, he was absolutely despicably bad. And the Raiders game, it was post-COVID, and the Raiders game was bad. It was bad. And then the Jacksonville game, horrible. So there's 7 games right there, almost half the schedule on the biggest games where he was absolutely anemic. But my point being is at least give him a target that's reliable before we start calling him a complete disgusting waste of a quarterback. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So for Indy side, why trade him if you don't have a backup plan? That was a complete panic move, and you guys are going to pay for that, which leads me...
Of course, I'm saying that and which we said that, especially there was reports that Frank Reich apologized to the owner for vouching for him. Yeah, because listen, he's on the hot seat coming in, and rightfully so, because he's just as much to blame for that debacle at the end of the season as much as Carson Wentz was. Yeah, and Chris Ballard too, as well, because you actually made the deal to trade for him. So yeah, so he mentioned Juan made a good point that hey, in 3 years this may be a completely different team if they don't get together, especially since how bad with the exception of Tennessee, the NFC South is AFC South is
horrible,
horrific,
horrible.
and the fact that you couldn't make the playoffs,
and I can argue they're going to be worse this year. I can argue.
Yeah, the fact you couldn't make the playoffs, this thing is bad. It's not good.
Very bad. You got because of you, Pittsburgh played.
Yeah,
because of y'all, Pittsburgh was in the damn playoffs.
Who had no business being there.
No, none. That team was horrible. None. So yeah. Oh, so defense for Colts. Now that we're back into the free agent thing, my bad. We had to mention it because it was a huge deal. I think getting Casey Hayward, because they play cover 3 zone mostly in their defense. Casey Hayward will be perfect for them. So because they lost Xavier Rhodes, he is a free agent. He was always in the hospital anyway, so at least Casey Hayward was more likely to stay healthy. I think he'll be a great replacement and be a decent cornerback one, at least a rental, and they can try drafting a zone corner again, maybe in rounds 2 or 3 if they have those picks. So I like Casey Hayward for them. The New York Jets. So I think they have major problems on the defensive side of the ball. And I think
that's obvious, yeah.
And right. They were, last in defense last year. So they need anything they can get. They have $48 million in cap space as of right now. So maybe getting a linebacker to help plug in the run like Devondre Campbell, re-signing Jared Davis. That's good. I think that's really good for them. And getting a corner like Darius Williams, who has experience in playing the zone defenses that the San Francisco and the Rams used to play back in the NFC West. They can go ahead and play that. So I'll be a decent corner upgrade. They do need safeties, though. I don't know if they can resign Marcus May or not because he's a free agent. But they have enough money maybe to get him back, or maybe even want to dabble on, Marcus Williams out of the Saints. The Saints ain't be able to get him back because they broke. So I'm just saying that's pretty good for safety for the New York Jets. And re-signing Morgan Moses back because they lost Mekhi Becton for most of the year. Having Morgan Moses on one side and having Mekhi Becton on the other, go for the line. How about the running game? Give Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I honestly feel the Jets as far as this offseason coming up. I feel like they're in a really good position to really improve, especially with all the cap space they have, and then the draft capital. You have two top 10 picks in the first round, so you can also help bolster the offensive line on one side and defensive line and the other way.
Plenty of depth there.
Or if you want to do both, either or. To me,
and they're getting back their big signing last year on the defensive line.
Yes. And so I do feel like, hey, I think they're in a really good position to really make the next step, especially since the AFC is so Wild West right now. But I think
in their division alone, you got the Patriots, you got Buffalo, the kings of that spot, but they got Buffalo.
I do feel that Joe Douglas,
and Miami might surprise someone.
Yeah, Joe Douglas can really. Now that he has a couple of years to really turn it around, we do see it. We do see it. Don't get me wrong, we do see it. I think with this all season, they could really make the Jets. I don't want to say like a great team, but they'll be competitive, which I think New York Jet fans would appreciate.
They'll take it, yeah.
They'll take that. Be competitive.
They'll take it. Give me 5, 6, 7 wins. Like give me there. Let's we can take baby steps to show me some improvement.
Yes,
that's what they want.
Now they say that the defense was dead last, obviously because the first half of the season
they were just
dreadful.
Whoa, yeah.
But if you watch the last 5, 6 games, they were competitive. They were in a lot of those games. Unfortunately,
the Jets,
talent over good talent always wins at the end of the day. And at the time, with all the injuries going on, they just couldn't find a way to win the game. But they were competitive, which you couldn't ask for more of.
So, yeah, definitely take that. Miami also has $48 million in cap space. I like getting Connor Williams from the Dallas Cowboys. He was a pretty good guard, despite what Dallas Cowboys fans will say to you. I don't think he listens to them very much. He's actually a pretty competent left guard. And you know what? With the state of your offensive line,
You'll take it.
I don't think you'll take competent.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Given what happened last year, which was disgusting.
Yeah.
That was disgusting offensive line play last season. But you'll take it. Whatever.
But Connor Williams is someone because I feel like they're not gonna try to splash somebody big like Terron Armstead or Brandon Sheriff. Any of those big players, I don't think they're gonna splash much on them. I don't think they want to spend $20 million on one guy. So I think the smart thing to do is get someone like Connor Williams, who's not as good as those guys, but will cost you maybe even more than half of that of the contract you have to give them. You give it to him, who was really competent. Get I think Trent Brown. They'll probably get someone like that to be their tackle. He's pretty good. If staying on the field is different, but since he has injury history, you don't have to pay as much, and you could splash somewhere else. Another person I think they're going to be looking. Raheem Mostert is available, and he has been that San Francisco back when healthy. He's been killing it in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Since your coach is the old San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator,
it makes sense.
That running back paired with Myles Gaskin might actually do some good, and I think that's the kind of team that you're looking for.
Yes,
for Tua.
Yes, clearly.
But yeah, those are three guys I think they're more likely going to get, or at least try to shoot for. That still gives them a lot of cap space. So they could splurge somebody else. You know what I mean? So, but they don't have to go crazy. Because you have talent. You just need to. The thing that you needed to fix is that line. But you don't have to spend much, and there's so much depth in the draft.
You took words in my mouth.
So
yeah. So again,
you don't have to go crazy in the free agency. You don't have to keep the money. Spend on a couple guys, fill in the line, get your cornerstone guys from the draft, build up. That's all I'm saying, guys.
They're literally going to be pennies on a dollar. Pennies on a dollar.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think it makes work well. If you want to have another weapon to go alongside what's that young boy name? The receiver.
Waddle?
Yeah. You want to pair somebody else.
I like someone in a slot for them.
Yeah, for them.
Someone like a Jamison Crowder or something like that.
Yeah. So like that, I don't hate it. At least try to
someone to get open short for Tua. I like that.
For once, if Tua is your guy, if he's your guy, finally give him a chance to succeed. And I think this will be a season where if Deshaun Watson is not available for them, finally give him a chance to succeed for once.
Yeah, I think this is the season we're gonna find out.
Yes,
the one coming out, we're gonna find out. Because I agree with you. I think they are going to commit a tool for this season at least. Mm-hmm. We're going to find out about him, his skill set. We're gonna find out if they really believe in him. We're gonna find out if he got what it takes. I think this is the season right here. Mm-hmm. Definitely, I agree with you 100%. Seattle has $45 million of cap space, but
who cares?
I personally think they are not going to go crazy in free agency. I think they might actually go as far as to tank.
The shithawks.
I don't think they're going to spend that money, and I don't think they should. I think that's the right move.
Why would you? Listen, it doesn't matter if let's say if Pete Carroll does go cuckoo for Cocoa Bubs and you spend the money, right? You do know that you don't have a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
a quarterback.
It'll be so asinine if you spend this money on free agency.
So be 4-13
and not find your cornerstone players to build an identity first.
I agree.
That's what you have to do. So you got rid of your old cornerstones. You need new ones. You are not going to find them in free agency. That rarely ever happens. The draft is where you do it. So before you spend the money like a freaking blonde with a new credit card in her hand, go ahead and get your draft capital, which they're starting to do now. Get your cornerstone players who are you going to build around first before you get the free agents to plug in the rest of the holes. That's what they have to do. That's what they did at first, and it worked for a little bit before they decided to run the football and lose Super Bowl because they want to throw it instead. Do that first. Let's see if he has what it takes to not screw up the draft. I don't think so, because we already cursed him out earlier in the show. So you know how we feel about it. But at least he is going in the right direction. It is that he's going to wind up stumbling and messing up because he's Pete Carroll. But that's what we don't have no free agents. None. They're just gonna spend enough money to get players in so they can win like 3 games. That's what's gonna happen.
Just for the roster. That's it.
Yeah. Jacksonville, however, has $39 million in the cap space, and I think they're gonna be the team that splurges. Chandler Jones is free agent, and Arizona cannot afford him, so he will be definitely gone. I think this might be where he goes, because he has a ring already. He's not going to be hungry to go to a winning team or whatever. So I think he's going to go to somewhere where he can get the most bang for his buck. Ask Stephon Gilmore, same thing. I think he's going to go somewhere, especially since they're actually, are they the same age?
Around,
I think they are.
around, yeah.
Did they both draft in 2012? I think both of them were. I think so. They're already getting old. They're both in their 30s. Let's get the most bang for their buck, and they'll go Jacksonville. And they have a promising young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who's supposed to be like the second coming of Elway and whatever. So they have something there to hide behind, so they can get their bang for their buck and maybe be part of something in the future, next 2 or 3 years, depending on Jacksonville does their things well, which they won't. But hindsight. I think they're gonna get their bank there. And I was thinking another receiver, maybe they'll give Christian Kirk some money. They'll be the ones. I personally think they're later in the list, but those are the rapid fire teams we're gonna go through. I think maybe Detroit should give him a shot more than Jacksonville, but I think Jacksonville will have more. They have more money, so they'll probably give him more. So they'll probably take him instead. So it'll be him, Laviska Shenault, Marvin Jones, all those guys there.
And especially there's a lot of upside on that roster too. A lot of upside,
Yeah,
so makes sense.
I think that's what they're gonna do. They lead everything, so there's no real wrong answer until we find their identity. I don't even remember who the damn coach is.
Oh, Doug Peterson.
Thank you, Doug Peterson. Always have to put. I never heard that name before. It's always Peterson, but his name's Peterson, so I always emphasize the D. So you're gonna hear that a lot. No, they're gonna hear that a lot throughout the whole season, whether we make fun of them or not, whatever. So I'm just telling you, before you be like, why did he say like that? Like Peterson, because that's how you spell his name.
I'm from New York, so that's what you want to say. Peterson. You get that.
Peterson.
Jax.
So we'll see what direction they're going to take. He built not he built, it was the other dude. But he took a roster upwards and won a Super Bowl with them. So we'll see if we can do that magic again. I mean, he ain't win no damn Super Bowl in Jacksonville. It's not possible. But
at least he'll
make them.
Let's be honest. Anything's an improvement from Urban Meyer.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's another team where I think they should hold on to the cash and see what direction they're gonna go in, but they're gonna spend. So that's what they do all the time, because they always suck, so they always have money. Chicago Bears, that's another team where I think they're just gonna tank it up because I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. They got what, Eberflus? Is that the
Eberflus is the coach? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Indy's defense coordinator, I believe, before him, right? I don't know what the hell direction they're gonna go in right now. I don't know what they're gonna do. So we didn't give them any free agents. They're next in the cap hit list. I think they have 36 million. They have 36 million in cap, so they have a decent amount of cash. But I don't know what they're gonna go with right now, man. That roster is so bad.
Yeah, I feel the new GM had a lot of work cut off for him. He made a good move by moving Khalil Mack. So it's a step in the right direction. He just have a lot of work to cut out. He needs to find a way to make the roster better. And I feel like you spend the money to make this roster, it's not gonna make a difference anyway. Because
they gotta go. They gotta get. They're similar to Seattle. At least they have something that Seattle doesn't, and that's a possible franchise quarterback. So they just need to find the other cornerstones to surround him with talent.
Yes,
they need offensive linemen. There's plenty here, so they're gonna probably get some. They're not. I don't think they're gonna splurge on the top guys.
Probably in the draft.
Yeah, I'm saying they're gonna do that. And need receivers. There's no really top receivers in this free agent class, so they're gonna draft one. But I'm drafting one of those in this second, third round, whatever. So they're going to get their talent in the draft and try to build a foundation before they start spending money in free agency. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to get anything there. Cincinnati Bengals, they already have their cornerstones. So I think they might be the ones to get Brandon Sheriff. Put him in the right guard position because their right side of the all offensive line is sad. So, that's Aaron Donald and Von Miller. So I think they're going to get Brandon Sheriff and splurge on him about $15 to $17 million a year contract that he's finally gonna get. I feel like he's been tagged by Washington for the last 8 years, if he was like. But so I think he's gonna get his money. I like Kyle Fuller to be the next corner next to Awuzie. Awuzie had a good year, really nice breakout year for the Cincinnati Bengals from him. He really performed well. I think Kyle Fuller, a guy who people I guess forgot about. I think he might perform well here.
Yeah,
a corner to be the number 2 corner. I think he's good enough to hit that. Nice veteran. And Latavius Murray to back up Joe Mixon because God dang it, give that man a break and get somebody good so he don't have to have 1,500 freaking touches a year. Like, I don't understand when people do that to these 4 running backs. Save him.
This isn't Madden, man. You can run. It's not Madden. You can do that. But I think for Cincinnati is concerned, those moves make sense. I think those moves make sense, especially since I don't think they have to spend much because I still feel like they could just build upon it. They feel like a running back, so I don't think they have to spend
Like I
much
said,
money.
they have cornerstone players already on both sides of the ball. So you just need to find depth and to find players to plug in the rest of your hole. The offensive line is the biggest thing you need to fill in. Again, like we have said for 40 times already in this show, there's plenty of them in the draft. So there you go. But there's veterans here you can get to plug in the line just in case. Just in case you draft that Alex Leatherwood by mistake. So
that trash can.
Yeah. Speaking of the devil, the Las Vegas Raiders are next with $32 million in cap. I think they're the ones that are going to get J.C. Jackson. They're going to give him the $20 million, but he shouldn't get. That's overvalued, but I think they're going to be on the Spurs on J.C. Jackson because, gosh darn it, they need cornerbacks. So is the best cornerback in this free agency class. I think they're going to get him and probably draft another one in the draft. I think they're going to re-sign Zay Jones because he had a good year. And maybe they might be the ones to take a shot at Will Fuller to open the field for Derek Carr. And wait for him and you just took out the phone like you got an emergency phone call in the middle of a damn show, bro.
Nah, because there was Matt. It was like usually I had do not disturb. So when it was on texting me, only favorites go. I said, oh, so it must have been crazy. So I said, oh, something crazy. I'm sorry about that. Continue.
He used an excuse to get his damn phone out. This guy right here, man. I'm telling you, millennials, bro. Millennials. Mind you, I'm one of them.
I cringe when they whatever.
I know.
I know. I hate it.
But I think they'll take a shot at Will Fuller to open the field up for Derek Carr for Darren Waller. I think it'll make their offense a little bit more complete and try to replace the guy who will be in prison very soon. I feel like saying his name, though. Yeah. So we got a couple more teams here: Carolina, Pittsburgh, Denver, the Lions, Philadelphia Eagles, and Chargers. All are above $20 million of cap space. So we're just gonna go with what they need. We're not gonna give out any names. So for like the Chargers, for example, again, interior defensive line. They need that really bad. So I think they're definitely gonna go out and get one. And if I was them, depending on how much Bobby Wagner's asking for, I might try to take a stab at him too to really take control of the middle of the field. It was me, but it depends on how much he's asking for though. But they need interior defensive line more. Philadelphia Eagles, they need to get younger on defense, so that's what the draft is for. With the 3 picks and like 5 picks. So I think they have 3 picks in a 5-pick span, I think, in the draft, middle of the draft. I think like 15, 16, like 19, something like that. I think those are the 3 picks. So they have opportunities to get young on defense. So they might there's a lot of ways they can go, especially since they made the playoffs with the roster they already had. So it's very interesting to see where they go. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, what they would do because there's a lot of options. I'm not sure. I will probably go linebacking core too. And look at a Wagner and look at a Campbell. Look at someone like that to man in the middle of the field if I was them. And maybe safety also because Anthony Harris is a free agent now. So maybe safety, but we'll see for them. Detroit Lions. I already mentioned Christian Kirk. They should go for another receiver to help out Jared Goff a bit because their offense, I don't want to say is almost complete, but it's definitely passable already.
Very passable.
Their line is not bad. It's pretty good. They have a good running back tandem. They have a breakout rookie in St. Brown. So getting another receiver and then probably draft another one and then following in that draft, I think they can have something for Jared Goff, even though they eventually got to replace him. But I think defensively, however, they need everything. And they already wound up cutting Trey Flowers not so long ago. So that means they definitely need defensive line help. And there's plenty of those guys in this thing. So it's because it's Detroit. I don't know who they're going to attract, which really lost me in finding free agents for these guys.
Because they literally go against the grain all the time.
Yeah, so I don't know who they're going to get and who wants to go there, period, is another question. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm pretty sure they're just gonna get depth there and find their defensive line, Anderson, on the draft. So I think that's what's gonna happen. Because I personally think, spoilers for the mock drafts, I think that Jacksonville is gonna take an offensive lineman.
I had that too.
Yeah, in the first. So I think Aiden Hutchinson is probably going to Detroit. That's my guess in pick 2. So yeah, so they're gonna get someone there. So this is gonna get veterans. Next, the Denver Broncos. They're probably getting Von Miller back. So I guess he just took a small vacation to Los Angeles, want to ring and try to another one here in Denver. Most of their cap's gonna go to that, but they need pass rush. So do that. Pittsburgh is another one that stumped me because there are a lot of holes. They only have 2 receivers in this roster right now, and I hate one of them. Deontay Johnson is so garbage to me. He has stone hands. So that dude needs to go. Juju and James Washington are both free agents. Huge. So I think Juju's coming back. I think they're gonna sign Juju. Me personally.
Kind of choice, honestly.
Right, basically. But defensively, it's old in the back end and semi-young in the front end. So in the back end, they have a lot of work to do. They only have Minka Fitzpatrick in the back end. They need to find corners, and they have $27 million, but I don't know. Maybe if they try to, I wonder if they can afford Carlton Davis. I don't know, but that's probably the only guy that they can afford, though. And they obviously need ridiculous amount of offensive line help to save Najee Harris's life. Let that man attempt to average over 4 yards a carry. You know what I'm saying? Like help Najee Harris. So they have a lot of holes, this team, a lot of them, and including quarterback. So I don't know which way they go, but I think if they're able to find a way to get the quarterback, Willis or Howell, off the draft, I think they're one of those two. I think they're picking. Me personally, if they don't take them up in the first 20 picks, I think Pittsburgh is definitely getting one of those 3 quarterbacks. They need line help. There's plenty of guys here, but it's just that
it's just not enough.
That's the thing that's getting to me. So I'm trying to figure out a way to spend it on guys who can be competent, but I don't know, man. People trying to get their bag, trying to get their money.
I don't blame them.
Definitely. And Carolina, I'm pretty sure they're gonna find a way to get a quarterback. And if they get Deshaun Watson, this cap is gonna disappear. So,
which kind of
they definitely have holes though. They have offensive line problems too,
especially since you're paying McCaffrey all that money too because they're healthy in the season. That's another thing too. I don't know what you were gonna do there because they need a quarterback.
They need cornerbacks. Yes, yeah. They need offensive line, and they need
JC Horns
defensive
should be back. So
that's true. JC Horns be back. They do have Henderson, who they traded from Jacksonville because Urban Myers is interesting. So, and he didn't play last year like that. So let's see how they go as a cornerback tandem. And for all I know, maybe they're the ones that resign Stephon Gilmore. All I know. So I think he went to school around there, if I'm not mistaken. So
he's from Carolina.
So. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's home. So maybe he want to stay over there. So yeah, so those are all the guys that have cap space. That I have at least $20 million cap space. We still got Baltimore, Cleveland, Atlanta, who all have 16 million, and the Patriots have 13 at this point in time. That's not that much money to sign anybody big, so we didn't want to plug in backup players.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
So we want to do that. So I was thinking about doing Patriots up because we are Patriot fans. We was thinking about giving them thing, but whatever. We'll do a live show for that. Yeah. We'll do the draft for that. We'll have time to be homers with our Patriots. Yeah. Later on. So this is the show. A nice an hour and 18 minutes for you.
It's not bad. Pretty good. We knew it's gonna be long, but yeah, it's pretty good though. Make sure
it definitely could have been longer.
Yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We're on Apple. Just type in your
nice.
Apple. Yeah, Apple. So go to your Apple Podcast app. Type our names in. We're there, and we're also available on any other podcast platform you guys will choose to use. Check out the Facebook group. The Facebook group has been really bumping lately. We appreciate your
yeah, it spiked. It definitely spiked in the last month. It
definitely has. Be part of the conversation. We appreciate you guys always.
There will be a live show within the next 2 weeks. I think the week after free agency, I think we'll do one. Instead of doing an episode, I think we'll do a live show instead. I think that's better.
Let's see how you
I
guys.
think the next recorded episode, I think, will be mock draft 1.0 in April. So I think, yeah. So I like a live show the next week, not this week coming up. This week coming up is free agency. The next week, so we can see where everybody went, and then we can all have our fun on making fun of teams who sign stupidity or praising teams for signing nice little bargains or whatever. We'll make fun of that following week in March.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than that, peace, love, episode. See you soon.